three goals I want to achieve. The first one is to transform a witch hut into a place suitable for me and my cats to live. The second thing I want to do is craft all of the witch's magical staffs and use their amazing abilities. And, well, the final thing I want to achieve is to brew powerful potions to help defeat the evil witch. On day one of being a witch, I quickly realized that I had the ability to be able to throw potions. I didn't know exactly what potions I was able to throw, so I tested this ability on myself. This was a mistake. After seeing this ability, I couldn't wait to see what other powers I would be able to obtain later in the 100 days. Once I had gathered some wood, I decided to make some basic tools and go out exploring. I wanted to see if I could find anything interesting. Not long into my adventure, I had came across a village. And you see, when I entered the village, there was an iron golem which would be a perfect source of iron. So to take it out, I threw one of my dangerous poison potions. Being a witch, I was simply too powerful. The poison potion combined with my sword attacks enabled me to easily take out the iron golem. Once I'd taken the iron golem out, I decided to get some food and even came across some bookshelves. These would be useful later. After eating some food, I came across a cave opening on the surface, so went in to get some stone. Having stone meant that I could upgrade my tools, which means I wouldn't be needing these anymore. With my new upgraded tools, I decided to go into the cave and gather up some valuable iron. This cave was loaded with not only iron, but also some coal as well. Once I was done with this small yet effective mining trip, I noticed that the sun was beginning to set. And well, being a witch, there was only one place that I wanted to spend the night. And this would be a witch hut. So with the moon beginning to rise, it was time to go out exploring for a swamp. It was so dark that creatures of the night, such as zombies and creepers, were beginning to spawn. By using my potions and my sword, I was able to battle off any enemy foes that came close. And before I knew it, I glanced over and there it was. I had found exactly what I was looking for, a swamp. This would now be the perfect place that I would be able to find a witch hut. And well, after taking out a creeper with my potions and dodging some arrows, I had hit the jackpot. I was staring at exactly what I was looking for. As I ran over to the witch hut, I decided to get in as fast as I could. And to make the witch hut even more safe, I decided to construct a door. Once I had placed the door in position, I crafted a furnace and began smelting my iron. On the beginning of day 2, I decided to look at my witch hut. I quickly realized that it simply wasn't going to be enough. I would need to transform it into something much better. And well, luckily for me, I had some amazing ideas of how I'm going to transform this thing. By the time I went back inside, my iron was all smelted up, so I decided to make some iron tools and even some armor. With my iron armor on, I decided to make a chest and dump all of my goodies inside, because it was now time to go on a brand new adventure. You see, to be able to craft any of the witch's magical staffs, I would need to get my hands on some valuables found in the depths of the caves. So, with this in mind, it was time to gather materials to craft the witch's magical staffs. After constructing a shield, I decided to go deeper into the caves. And well, I couldn't quite believe my eyes. It seems like the more I explored the caves, the luckier I was getting. Not only was I able to get my hands on iron, but also redstone, gold, and even some lapis. This would be perfect to craft the witch's magical staffs. And not only that, if I wanted to even stand a chance at defeating the evil witch, the magical staffs would be extremely necessary. With a smile on my face and an inventory filled with goodies, I decided to continue mining. And well, the luck continued. That was until something terrible happened. I had stumbled into a cave filled with hostile creatures. I was being sabotaged from all angles. Not even my potions were going to get me out of this one. I decided to use my shield and run away, but there was a dead end. I was trapped. The only way I was going to get out of this is if I was to run headfirst into battle. Just as I thought things couldn't get any worse, I had miscalculated one of my throws. I was now poisoned. If I was able to get attacked anymore, this would be all over. With my hearts quickly depleting, I was able to build myself into the side of the cave. I was safe for now, but I simply couldn't risk being in this cave any longer, so I decided to make an escape. I needed to get all of these precious resources back to my witch hut. And well, that's exactly what I did. I ran straight to the exit. By the time I had made it back to the surface, it was now day 4. I was glad to be back at my witch hut, but more importantly, I had an inventory loaded with supplies. As I placed all of the ores into my furnace, the sun was beginning to set, which could only mean one thing. It was time to get some rest. So after making some shears and getting some wool, I crafted a bed. And once the bed was down, I decided to get some sleep, or whatever this is. Anyway, on the morning of day 5, I got all of my iron out the furnace and crafted up a bunch of axes, because it was time for construction. You see, I was running out of space in my witch hut, and the only way I was going to get more of it was if I was to transform this witch hut into something much bigger and better. So Now I spent the next few days gathering supplies for this brand new transformation, and luckily for me I was even able to find an enchanted golden apple, which is pretty amazing if I do say so myself. Now for me to upgrade this witch hut into something much better, I would need to get my hands on some basic resources such as dark oak wood, clay for bricks, sand for glass, some spruce wood, and also a bunch of components for detail, such as trapdoors, and even cobblestone stairs. I then made a chest and put all of my construction supplies inside. The only thing I had left to do now was flatten out the area in which I wanted my brand new witch hut to go. Flattening out all of this area didn't take too long, and I was pretty satisfied with the final result. The space that I had flattened out was more than enough space for this first transformation. So after crafting some final supplies, it was time to construct the first upgrade to the witch hut. This is only the first upgrade to the witch hut. I would be adding things such as a potion room and a cat area later. And well, I mean, if I wanted to stand a chance against the evil witch, having a potion room to be able to brew powerful potions is something that I must have if I want to even stand a chance against the evil witch. Now, because I had completed the first witch hut transformation, I knew it would be the perfect time to move on to my next goal, which is to craft the first witch's magical staff. Now, let me explain how the staffs work. In total, there are 3 crystals I can craft: the healing crystal, leaping crystal, and the swiftness crystal. I can then use these crystals to craft the witch's magical staffs. Oh, and if I get all 3 staffs, I can combine them together to get the ultimate staff, which is incredibly powerful. Anyway, seeing as the staff of healing is the first staff I want to get, I will need to craft the healing crystal, which requires 1 golden apple, 4 red stained glass, and 4 blaze powder. And the only way I can obtain blaze powder is from the nether, which means it was time to prepare for an obsidian mining trip. Once I'd gathered and cooked all of my food, I made my way into the depths of the caves. I would need diamonds for a diamond pickaxe to mine the obsidian. When I got down into the depths of the caves, there was a bunch of creepers trying to take me out. But seeing as I'm a witch, I was able to use my powerful potions. So the creepers had no chance. I mean, a skeleton tried to boost a creeper towards me to explode me, but I was able to throw down a potion of harming and stop the creeper in its path. Once I was done battling enemy foes, I had found exactly what I was looking for. I had stumbled across some diamonds, which is exactly what I would need to make a diamond pickaxe to ultimately mine up some obsidian. Once I got my first diamond, it seemed like the luck didn't want to stop, because I then mined diamonds after diamonds after diamonds after diamonds. It seems like the diamond luck was on my side. Now that I had these diamonds, I was able to make a diamond pickaxe and mine up a bunch of obsidian. I had 18 in total, so it was time to return to the surface. But on the way out of the cave, I came across an amethyst geode, and well, this worked out perfectly, because there would be something extremely special I could craft down the line with amethyst. By day 22, I had made it back to my witch hut, and I instantly stored away all my valuables and smelted everything from the mining trip. I then constructed an armor stand and crafted full diamond armor. This was because I only wanted to use the diamond armor when it was fully enchanted, and I mean, although diamond armor is good, it simply won't be enough to take out the evil witch. I will definitely have to upgrade this to netherite at some point. Now, with each piece of the diamond armor on the armor stand, it was time to do the final preparation to put the pieces together for the regeneration staff. All I had to do now was go into the nether and gather up some blaze rods. So because of this, I got some building blocks and then some rest, because it was time to build an area for the nether portal. When I woke up, it was time to begin construction. Now, because I'm a witch, I wanted everything to suit the style of being in a swamp. So because of this, I made a natural nether portal entrance, and I was sure to use as many vines as I could. And when I finished this small yet effective build, it was looking pretty good if I do say so myself. The only thing I had to do now was enter the nether. It was time to craft this staff once and for all. The first thing I had to do when I was inside of the nether was try and locate a fortress. And this was actually a pretty easy task, because whilst I was mining up some quartz, I glanced over and there it was. I had found a nether fortress pretty close from where my nether portal actually was located. Now, because I'm a witch, the first thing I did as soon as I was to enter the nether fortress was to throw one of my poison potions. And to my surprise, this was super effective. The damage I was dealing to the blazes was absolutely extraordinary. I was able to get a few blaze rods, and then I continued to explore the fortress. In fact, I was able to find some nether warts. And well, this is an ingredient that I would need if I wanted to make some potions. After grabbing the nether warts, I basically had everything that I came to the fortress for. So after getting one more blaze rod, it was time to escape. But there was a wither skeleton blocking my exit, so I knew I had to battle. After some accurate sword swings, I was able to take it out with ease. I now had to use perfect block placement to get myself down from the fortress. After quickly escaping the nether fortress, I had made it to my portal. And once I had made it back to my witch hut, I took a look in my inventory. And well, I was super happy with what I had obtained. Not only some nether warts, but also some blaze rods as well. So now that I had the blaze rods, I would need to go and get some red stained glass. So to begin the next day, I went out exploring to see if I could find some roses. And I was able to find some pretty quickly. Once I had the roses for the red dye, it was time to smelt up some sand to get some glass. And with this glass, I turned it into red stained glass. I then turned some of the blaze rods into blaze powder, and it was time to assemble the first staff. I began by carefully placing the golden apple into the center of the crafting table and surrounding it with red stained glass and blaze powder. And once I had done that, I had crafted the health crystal. I placed the health crystal at the top of the crafting bench, and there it was, the staff of healing. I couldn't believe it. Not only did this thing look absolutely amazing, it was also extremely powerful, because whenever I was to place the staff of regeneration into my hands, I would be granted the regeneration effect. So if I was to take a huge chunk of damage, I could hold this staff and regenerate myself back up to maximum hearts. Now, if this is what the first staff could do, just imagine what the other staffs will be able to do later. After spending the rest of the day experimenting with the staff, I opened my chest and remembered that I had some nether warts. And well, having all of this nether wart can only mean one thing. It was time to build a brewing area. And I realized that if I was going to extend my witch hut by adding a brewing room, I may as well add a cat area as well. It was beginning to get pretty lonely at the witch hut just by myself, so I thought that this would be a great extension. So I spent the next few days gathering some building materials. Oh, and whilst I was getting some deep slate for the build, I was able to find some more diamonds, which is pretty awesome. And do you know what else is awesome? My Minecraft server. Here at Fruland, the world is yours to explore, whether you want to become the most powerful player or just build with your friends. There's something for everyone to do. Oh, and did I mention that you can battle the bosses you see in my videos? Well, you can. So come and play the ultimate survival experience over on Fru.land. Anyway, once I collected all of the building resources, I went below my witch hut to begin clearing some space for the potion room and cat area. My pickaxe broke in the process of mining, but after crafting a new one, it was time to finish construction. For the brewing area, I decided to put down some candles and paintings for decoration. I then made sure to put some cauldrons down, seeing as I would be using this place for brewing potions. I then decided to start mining out the cat area. I made sure it was a good size so that my cats would have plenty of space. I then decorated it by adding a cat's face and even putting some carpets on the floor. And by the middle of day 40, the build was fully finished. All I had to do now was add some brewing stands. I took the brewing stands down and placed them where they needed to be. And when this was done, the brewing area and cat room was looking pretty good if I do say so myself. But it was missing one thing. I didn't have any cats to put inside the cat area. So with this in mind, I decided to start day 41 by crafting a fishing rod. Because if I want to tame any cats, I'm of course going to need some raw fish to tame them. So I spent my time fishing for some raw fish. And well, although I was fishing up a bunch of random stuff, I was ultimately able to get what I was looking for. So once I was done fishing, I decided to go out and find some cats. I was luckily able to find 3 cats. One that was for some reason just swimming around. The second one I found in a forest close to a village. And well, I found the third one in another forest very close to a village. And by day 43, I had done it. I had got 3 pet cats all back into my witch hut. And well, just look at the massive smiles on all of their faces. They were extremely happy and loved the cat area that I had built for them. Once I was finished spending some time with my pet cats, it was time to obtain the second witch's magical staff. Now, this staff is called the Staff of Leaping, and to craft it I will need to obtain 4 lime-stained glass, 4 blaze powder, and 1 rabbit's foot. So because I needed a rabbit's foot, it was time to go and adventure off to a desert. After a few days of searching for a desert, I had finally found what I was looking for. But when I got there wasn't a single rabbit in sight, so I had to wait it out for the night and wait for the next day. Eventually, the sun came up, and I was able to find a bunch of rabbits. I used my potions to take a few out, but I was getting pretty unlucky with rabbit's foot. That was until I threw down a potion of harming, and one of the rabbits dropped exactly what I was looking for. I decided to run back to my base and get some rest. And when I had woke up, the time was here. It was time to craft the leaping crystal to ultimately make the Staff of Leaping. I began by making the lime-stained glass, and then turning my blaze rods into blaze powder. Once this was done, I placed the rabbit's foot into the center of the crafting table and surrounded it with lime-stained glass and also some blaze rods. And once I'd had the leaping crystal, it was time to assemble the staff.
Castle Clash.
And there it was. The Staff of Leaping was fully constructed. I couldn't quite believe it. This thing looked way better than the Staff of Regeneration, and not only this, it gave me permanent jump boost. This thing was going to be super useful. And well, because I now had both of these staffs, that means that I would only need one more staff to be able to craft the ultimate staff. And well, because the Evil Witch is extremely strong, I will definitely need the ultimate staff if I'm even going to stand a chance at defeating the Evil Witch. After having a ton of fun with the Staff of Leaping, I opened up my inventory and realized that all of my armor was broken, and even my tools had super low durability. So because of this, I got some of my leftover building resources, and it was time to make an enchantment room extension, meaning that I would be able to upgrade all of my gear. So after making a ton of bookshelves and even the enchantment table itself, I began mining out an area to build the enchantment room extension. The enchantment room was a small but very useful extension, and once it was done, I placed the enchantment table in the middle, and it was time to enchant all of my gear. But of course, if I was going to be enchanting, I would need full diamond tools and armor. So after crafting some diamond tools and grabbing my armor off the armor stand, it was time to test my luck and see what enchants I could get. I placed the lapis into the enchantment table and began enchanting my tools. And once I was done enchanting, I was pretty happy with the enchantments that I got. But I then realized I didn't have enough XP to enchant my armor, and I also wanted even more XP to re-enchant my diamond pickaxe and diamond sword. So with this in mind, I went into the nether, and after taking out a surprise zombie invasion, I was able to leap around the nether with my Staff of Leaping and obtain all of the quartz I needed. When I got back to my witch hut, I was level 33, which meant I had the perfect levels to re-enchant my sword and pickaxe. And well, when I re-enchanted my pickaxe, I got the best enchants I could have asked for. Efficiency 4, Unbreaking 3, and even Fortune. I then re-enchanted my sword, and I got a pretty decent enchant, but I would definitely be changing this later. Now all that was left for me to do was enchant my diamond armor. So with my new and super speedy pickaxe, I was able to get up to level 42 in no time. And I was even able to get a full inventory of quartz. By day 58, I leaped over to my nether portal and got back into the overworld. I then cleared out my inventory and enchanted all of my diamond armor. And wow, my luck was amazing. I was getting some pretty good enchants on this armor if I do say so myself. I placed all of my diamond armor on, and then I realized something. There was so much that I wanted to get done by day 100, but I felt as if there was something holding me back. And well, I knew exactly what it was. I knew that if I wanted to go any further as being a witch, I would have to battle and defeat the Evil Witch. So by the end of day 59, I knew exactly what needed to be done. It was time to begin preparation for the Evil Witch battle. So because I wanted to take out the Evil Witch, the first thing I would need to do is brew up a ton of powerful potions. The Evil Witch is extremely strong, so I will need every advantage I can get my hands on. I began by taking some brewing supplies from my chests and taking them down into my brewing area. And after storing all of these supplies in a barrel, I crafted up some glass bottles and got some last minute brewing resources. I got things such as mushrooms, spider eyes, bottles of water, and even some glowstone. And wow, glowstone is probably the most important brewing supply of them all, because it allows the potions to become even more powerful. When I finally got back down to my brewing area, I spent the end of day 60 brewing up some strength 2 potions, and also some potions of harming. I will be using the instant damage potions to damage the Evil Witch from a distance. Once I had all of my potions, it was time to move on to the next stage of preparation, and this would be to upgrade all of my tools and armor to netherite. As I've mentioned previously, the Evil Witch fight is not going to be easy, meaning the best armor and the best sword I can get my hand on will be extremely necessary. When I arrived in the nether, I had finally found the perfect ancient debris mining spot. So I went down to the ancient debris layer and began mining for some ancient debris. I spent between days 62 and 76 mining as much ancient debris as I could find. And well, I got pretty lucky. I was able to find ancient debris left, right, and center. By the end of the ancient debris mining trip, I was able to get 20 pieces of ancient debris in total. And this would be the perfect amount to turn all of my armor into netherite, but also my sword as well. And seeing as I will be using my sword in the Evil Witch battle, this will be extremely useful. On day 77, I began to escape the nether by using my Staff of Leaping. And well, this definitely made getting back into the overworld extremely easy. When I got back to my witch hut, I dumped all of my stuff in a chest and began smelting all of my ancient debris down into netherite scraps. And once it was all fully smelted, I got some gold, opened up the crafting table, and combined it with with the netherite scraps to ultimately make netherite ingots. I then created a smithing table and took this up to my bedroom. I took all of my diamond armor off and placed it one by one into this smithing table. I then proceeded to do the same thing with my sword, and there it was. I was beginning to feel unstoppable. With all of this netherite armor and this netherite sword, I would definitely be able to put up a good fight against the evil witch. So now that I had brewed up some dangerous potions and got a bunch of overpowered netherite gear, there was only one more thing that I had to tick off the list that I must do before I fight the evil witch. This was to obtain the final staff so that I could then finally craft the ultimate staff. So after re-enchanting my netherite sword, it was time to craft the final staff. And this was the Staff of Swiftness. The Swiftness crystal is actually really easy to create. All I would simply need is 4 light blue glass, 4 blaze powder, and 1 piece of sugar. I placed the sugar in the center and surrounded it with blue stained glass and also some blaze rods. Once that was done, I placed the crystal back into the crafting table to make the Staff of Swiftness. I couldn't quite believe it. I had finally obtained all 3 witches' magical staffs. And I must say the Staff of Swiftness is by far my favorite. This thing not only looks absolutely amazing, but it also gives me permanent swiftness when I'm holding it. So I decided to have some fun and run around with this staff for a while. Then I went inside my house and realized that because I had all 3 witches' magical staffs, I could finally assemble the ultimate staff. So without hesitation, I went straight over to the crafting table and began placing in all of my staffs. And once I had done this, I surrounded them with amethyst, and there it was.
I'm bound by nothing, be it family or destiny.
Legendary!
My dagger's strong. Off with you!
First blood!
Pax boring.
Legendary!
Boring. Off with you!
Legendary!
Pax boring.
You have slain an enemy, been destroyed.
On my words! Now!
Killing spree!
Did a part. On my words! Now!
Legendary!
I couldn't believe my eyes. I had finally obtained the ultimate staff after all of this time. Although it took a lot of preparing, it was definitely worth it. This thing looked absolutely amazing, and it even combined all of the powers of the previous staffs. It gave me jump boost, speed, and regeneration. I mean, just take a look at me. I was jumping around at crazy speeds, and also my health was regenerating. This staff was seriously overpowered, and just when I thought it couldn't get any better, I found out it had a secret ability. I was able to summon lightning down wherever I was looking, meaning if I was to look at any hostile foe, I could deal some serious damage. Because of how powerful this ultimate staff is, it definitely meant the evil witch would stand no chance against me. Once I had everything prepared, I decided to look around at all of my progress that I had made up to this point, and I even said goodbye to my pet cats, because it may be the last time that I get to see them again. Knowing how hard the battle against the evil witch is going to be, I didn't know if I was going to be able to defeat it. After saying goodbye to my cats, I made a spyglass. The evil witch would be hiding, and I have no idea where, so this spyglass will be extremely useful in tracking down the evil witch's location. Before I left my witch hut to go and find the evil witch, I double checked that I had everything in my inventory, and once this was done, it was time to go out and find the evil witch. I spent days looking around forests, and even getting on high ground to see if I could find the evil witch, but I was having no luck. Even the spyglass wasn't working. It even got to the point where I was in the middle of a random jungle. I was seriously lost, but I had to continue looking. Eventually, I was able to find a swamp and thought to myself if the evil witch was going to be lurking anywhere, it would have to be somewhere around here. And after further inspection, I came across an abandoned witch hut. After zooming in my spyglass, there was absolutely no one inside, so I decided to get a little bit closer. I had my ultimate staff in my hand if anything was to go wrong, but as I got closer, there was truly no one inside. This thing had to be abandoned for some reason, so I decided to use my ultimate staff to jump up and see what was inside. As soon as I was in the entrance, it alerted me that the evil witch was close. Things were about to get serious. I took my time to realize what I was about to get myself into and organized my inventory for battle. I needed to make sure that everything was in the correct position, and once this was done, I decided to walk around the swamp and see what I could find. As I was walking through the swamp, this happened. The evil witch was right in front of my eyes, and before I could even do anything to it, it launched me up into the air with a hammering attack. It had a witch's broomstick in its hand, and it was using it to attack. So after drinking a strength potion, I decided to summon some lightning onto the evil witch. This did some incredible damage, and it even set the witch on fire. I then tried to use my shield to defend myself against the witch's attacks, but it was useless. I would really have to be careful here. The witch smashed its broom against the ground and launched me up into the air, but I was luckily able to water bucket clutch. I threw all of the potions I could, but the witch was too strong. It was doing almost no damage. I then sprinted towards the witch and got some accurate sword swings. I mean, I was doing chunks of damage. I was actually beginning to handle this boss fight pretty well. That was until it landed 2 back-to-back attacks. 1 punch and 1 broomstick swing. I was in trouble. My health was extremely low. I knew that I had to make some distance and throw some potions, but its attacks were too consistent. I couldn't get away. As I turned around, the witch had fallen inside some water. With 3 hearts left, I decided to get on top of one of the trees and begin to unleash the true powers of the ultimate staff. And there it was. I had done it. I had defeated the evil witch using the powers of the ultimate staff. When I defeated it, I decided to go and investigate what the evil witch dropped. It seemed to be the broomstick that the witch was holding. But the thing is, I was actually able to fly the broomstick. This thing was incredible. It took me quite some time to actually learn how to fly this thing, but when I realized how it actually worked, I decided to fly it back to my witch hut. I was flying above the clouds and coming across some amazing biomes. I was even able to fly the broomstick over this amazing snow biome. Before I knew it, I was back at the swamp where my witch hut home was located. I made a pretty clean landing with the broomstick, and when I hopped off the broomstick and took another look at it, I ran straight into my witch hut because I wanted to eat this enchanted golden apple to fill up my hearts. After regenerating all of my hearts, the next day I went back outside. I thought that now because I had this broomstick, I would construct an area in which I could actually store this thing. So because of this, I made an anvil and repaired my pickaxe because I wanted to mine up a bunch of materials for this build. And well, while I was collecting building resources, I may have got a little carried away. Once I was done having fun with the ultimate staff, I collected some iron, some cobblestone, and also some spruce wood. These were all resources I would be using for the build. I then did some last minute preparation for the build, and once this was done, it was time to construct a place where I could store this witch's broom. By day 100, the build was fully constructed. All I needed to do now was get on the broomstick and place it inside of its new home. I opened up the fence gates and pushed in the broomstick. And once I had done that, it was day 100. I had done it. I had successfully survived 100 days as a witch in hardcore Minecraft. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next.